Kjell Arne Røvik is a professor at the Arctic University of Norway. The title of his new book, published on Oxford University Press, is A Translation Theory of Knowledge Transfer. Here is his brief presentation of the book.
An obvious but often downplayed point in the literature on organizational innovations is that the antecedents of innovations is often the capacity to imitate and learn from other organizations. 3 observations have inspired this book. The first is the increased importance of effective imitation and knowledge transfer for a wide range of critical success variables, including competitiveness, democratic quality, growth, decline, reputation, and even for organizational survival. The second is numerous observations of how challenging effective knowledge transfer is. Such processes sometimes succeed, but they very frequently fail. The third is that despite extensive research efforts, we still lack theories with high explanatory power to account for the huge variations in knowledge transfer successes. So why do some organizations often succeed while others fail to transfer and exploit knowledge from other organizations? This is the key question that I try to answer in this book. Since the 1980s, much research efforts have been taken to improve understanding of these knowledge transfer puzzles. I identify and review 7 relative distinct scholarly traditions, each concentrating on theorizing and researching certain factors which is supposed to have a bearing and/or facilitating effect on knowledge transfer. These 7 factors are formal organizational structure, absorptive capacity, social networks, geographical distance, cultural distance, institutional distance, and features of the transferred knowledge itself. Although research on these factors has provided numerous new insights, most of the variations in knowledge transfer successes still remain to be explained. Therefore, it is time to rethink and retheorize and hopefully to revitalize the study of knowledge transfer. In this book, I develop a new theory of knowledge transfer based on 3 broad suggestions. The first is that knowledge transfer across organizational borders can be conceptualized as acts of translations, resembling the translation of a text between different languages. This is a fundamental reframing of the knowledge transfer field, which not only let us see what we already know, but goes beyond and stimulates revelatory, novel insights. The second suggestion concerns translation rules. Actors involved in knowledge transfers, let's call them the translators, obviously put their marks on the content or what is transferred. But are there any grammars and regularities that may create patterns in the way knowledge translations are performed? Yes, there are, and I reveal and analyze the modes and rules of such translations. I sought out 3 main translation modes: the reproducing, the modifying, and the radical mode. Much more on translation rules in the book. The third suggestion is simply that involved translators and their translations make a difference. The ways in which translations are performed may explain the outcomes of knowledge transfers. I illustrate the huge influence of translators' performance through 6 transfer cases, each which takes place in different organizational and national contexts. the United States, Denmark, Norway, China, the United Kingdom, and India. The cases show that to zoom in on the involved translators and tracing their modes and rules of coping with transfer challenges is a key to understanding why some transfers succeed while others fail. The translation theory has the potential to not only improve analysis and understanding, but also to guide practitioners in deliberate interventions in knowledge transfer processes. I argue that variations in translators' performance and their contributions to successes and failures reflect their translation competence. The concept, translation competence, refers to the sum of knowledge and skills that an involved actor mobilizes in acts of transferring knowledge across organizational borders. Now, there are two key features of translation competence. The first is the translator's knowledge of contexts, which include knowledge of practices to be transferred, as well as knowledge of relevant aspects of the actual source organization and the target organizational context. The second is knowledge about translation rules and about how to select, combine, and shift appropriate rules under various conditions. The 6 cases I have studied show that while transfer failures are clearly associated with translators who lack knowledge of contexts and apply inappropriate translation rules, transfer successes go hand in hand with translators who are knowledgeable about source and target contexts and who very consciously choose appropriate translation rules. Thank you for your attention.